So you've decided to learn to play the ukulele. Congratulations, you have made a very smart decision. My goal for this video is to prepare you for what you might experience in the near future and to share some tips that will help you as you get started with your instrument. Before we talk about what's to come, let's just acknowledge the big first step that you've already taken. Now, I am a ukulele teacher, but I teach mostly adults, so a lot of what I say in this video will be geared for adults because that is my experience. Now, especially if you are an adult, you have taken the big first step of deciding to try something new. And now I'd like you to just take a moment and reflect on what it is that brought you to the ukulele. And I'll just toss out some ideas that may or may not apply to you. And of course, there may be just one main reason, or there may be lots of reasons that you have decided to do this. But let's just take a moment to think about that. Is it because you need a creative outlet? Is it because you heard the ukulele was easy? Is it because you took music lessons as a kid and you're hoping to be able to play an instrument now as an adult? Is it because you have people in your life who play music and you'd like to join the fun? Of course, like the options are kind of endless, but I'd really like you to think about what it is that brought you to the ukulele, because being mindful of that will really help you as you prioritize your goals in the future. Next, I'd like you to do a little more self-reflection and think about your relationship to music up until this point in your life. Now, of course, that can be just the role music plays in your life as you listen to music, but if you ever took lessons or have ever played an instrument, I want you to just think about that for a minute. What instrument did you play? What were the messages that you heard from your teachers or your parents or your friends? And what were the things you told yourself about your musical abilities? And what was your relationship like to the instrument? Did you choose to play the piano because you were excited to, or were you told that you had to learn to play it? If you grew up taking music lessons as a kid, there is a very good chance that that relationship soured at some point. And if you quit that instrument, you probably had a very good reason for it. Process some of this and let go of some of the more painful aspects from your past so that you don't have your past complicating and clouding your relationship as you go forward with this new instrument. You are more than your musical past, and this is a fresh start for you. Okay, take a deep breath if you need to, because we're going to wave goodbye to your musical past and prepare you for what's to come. Now, you may have thought that you were going to learn how to play the ukulele, but what you're really doing is deciding to start a new habit. And building a new habit and establishing one so that it becomes a consistent part of your routine is hard. I'm filming this in January of 2021 when life is just weird and we're still living in the pandemic. So you want to think about when and where you're going to be able to play now. And then, of course, as your life hopefully starts to regain some normalcy, you will want to be mindful of that and think about how you need to adjust your schedule to allow time for playing. But let's just deal with where things are right now. Let's get really practical. What days are you going to play? What time of day are you going to play? Where will you be when you play your ukulele? Now, because you're a new player, you may not have the answer to this question yet. So just sort of take stock of how the next few weeks go. Are there any little gaps in your schedule where it fits in nicely? Maybe when the kids are doing homework, or if you're on your lunch break, or while you sip your morning coffee, or maybe right when you finish work. But identifying when you're going to play will be really helpful in helping you stick with the habit. The next thing to figure out is where you're likely to play. And of course, if you're just starting, you probably don't have the answer to that yet. So experiment. Try bringing the ukulele around with you as you move from room to room throughout your house or go about your day, and figure out where you are more likely to pick it up. When we're trying to establish a new habit, like learning to play an instrument, it's really important that we make it easy and convenient. And if you have your ukulele tucked away safely in its case and your digital tuner is over across the room on a bookshelf or somewhere, it's just going to make it that much harder for you to pick up your instrument. But if you have your digital tuner clipped onto the head of your ukulele and you have it out of the case, resting safely somewhere like on a table or a surface or on a ukulele stand, it just makes it that much easier for you to pick it up. So think about your living situation and think about how you can make it easier and more convenient for you to pick up the ukulele. Are you the kind of person who benefits from having reminders go off on your phone, or does that drive you crazy? Do you need to block out time in your schedule, or do you need to put it on your daily to-do list? Think about little things like that that will help remind you that you want to learn to play the ukulele. Now here's another note about playing. Please don't worry about how long you're playing each time you pick up your ukulele. Your goal right now is to just establish the habit of picking it up and engaging with it. You want to remind yourself as much as you can that you have a ukulele and you're learning how to play it and you want to keep going. And the more frequently you pick up your instrument, the more likely you are to be establishing a solid habit that will last you for years to come. As you develop this habit, I'd like you to continually acknowledge your achievements, even if it's just picking it up. I want you to do that. If it's learning a new chord, do that. If it's being able to strum all 4 strings and have them sound clearly, do that. Every little thing you can think of, I want you to acknowledge and congratulate yourself for, because the more praise you heap on yourself, the more you're giving yourself like a positive feedback loop, and the more excited you will be to keep going. Because you can do this. It just comes down to a matter of spending time with your instrument and playing with it. The more you praise yourself and congratulate yourself for doing as well as you are doing, the more likely you are to stick with the habit because you are building that positive relationship with it. There's just one more thing I wanted to talk to you about, and that is the concept of a support system. Who will be your ukulele cheerleaders? Do you have a parent or grandparent or aunt or uncle type figure in your life? Or do you have a friend who will be super enthusiastic when you talk about your progress? Or are there kids in your life who are going to be really fun to play for? Think about the people you can involve in this experience who will support you and be encouraging and be kind as you develop this new habit and skill. I'd like to offer my services here. If you need a little support and encouragement, you can drop a comment on this video. You can also find me on Facebook and Instagram at Musical Mama Ukulele. You can always tag me and I will be happy to be your musical mama, cheering you on and supporting you and encouraging you as you learn to play the ukulele. If you'd like some help getting started with your ukulele, head over to musicalmama.com because I have got you covered. I have a free guide called Ukulele Basics that you could go download right now, and it will walk you through your first 3 chords and your first few songs. And I have books, I've got chord charts, and lots of free resources over on the blog. And I'll include a lot of links down in the video description to things that you might want to check out. The ukulele is such a wonderful instrument, and being able to make music is such a joyful experience, and I'm so excited for you and all of the very fun things that are to come. If you'd like me to post more videos like this, give this video a like or drop in a comment. And of course, to stay up to date on all of my videos, be sure to hit that subscribe button. Okay, thank you so much for watching. Happy strumming!